my pleasure to be here. Thank you all for coming. It is a passion for me, and my real passion is making things easy and integrated. Yeah. So I garden, and I'll show you some stuff out of my garden. Yep. Today's goodies are coming out of my garden. And I've been away for 5.5 weeks in Indonesia doing my singing gig, and I left the garden to its own devices while I was away. So this is what you can do in what's called a Zone 1 coastal area in pure quartz sand, growing a fabulous marjoram and silver beet, and oh my goodness, when you see these, this is when you can tell I've been away 5 weeks. Zucchini. Now, of course, that's what you're supposed to pick them at, but whoopsie. And lovely nasturtium flowers for our salad, because you can eat them and they're a natural antibiotic. So that's, not only do they look beautiful, but they're a natural antibiotic. So that's all out of my garden today. And because I'm lucky enough to have a garden, even if it is made of pure sand, who needs a gym when you've got a garden? Because you get all your exercise working on it. What could be lovelier? I get a ton of wood chips delivered by the local tree loppers onto my driveway. Butt and gut. Shoveling it into the bags, throwing it over the back in nice light amounts so that I don't hurt my back. 1 sack on each shoulder, keep the exercise even, and then all around the garden, out here, out there. I always keep enough to service the needs of my compost heap, which is enormous, because I'm the caretaker for 2 adjacent 1/4 acre blocks, and those pruning shears really get a workout at our place. So I've got stacks and stacks of green waste. I'm very, very spoilt. But I've also got all the kitchen scraps from a boarding house containing 8 adults and 1 entire block of units. So basically I'm set. It's much easier for me to compost than it is for the average person, because I get lots and lots of green waste. But when I didn't, you know what I used to do? And I probably shouldn't admit this in public, but I used to steal the the plastic sacks of grass clippings that the council would put for collection on the corners, waiting for the council truck to come around. I'd spy them out and go, and get it, and take home stuff. And I also used to harvest weeds from public spaces and things so that I had enough green stuff to make really big compost heaps, because I like it to go fast. But I won't talk about compost too much. People used to run away from me at parties 10 years ago when I'd talk about compost, and now everyone wants me. It's fantastic. So I've got the garden. This means that I can have a lot of my herbs and salad vegetables and things fresh. So that's one of the ways that I save waste. Absolutely nothing that can decompose goes into my bin. Even things that the council doesn't approve if you're putting in your compost heap. But my compost heap is very large and very hot. So it doesn't matter what I put in there, it's just gone. Seriously, one of our cats catches a rodent. Within a week, find the rodent. It's gone, it's gone. And that's what you can do in a really hot compost. Seriously, they just eat everything. But not everyone's lucky enough to have a space that's big enough for that. So you use what you've got, whether it's a worm farm, a bokashi bin if you're stuck in an apartment, or a compost heap. A compost bin, particularly if you're in a block of apartments and everyone's a little bit weird about crawly things and running things with whiskers. Rats are frightened of me. But I actually have brown antechinus in my yard, so I'm also extra spoiled. I believe that that's because I have an organic garden, and so I get all native wildlife in my garden. So it's a mixture of little beautiful little pockets that I've made using native plants, particularly indigenous to the area, so that I can create windbreaks and shelter. And then I do a separate garden bed where I put rich soil in, and I grow my plants in that. Yep, so similar to what's being done here, you know, we've got wicking pots and things. I have my own ways of setting these up, embedding them in the sand so that it all looks very natural. And that way I can have very rich soil next to quite poor soil that suits the native growth. I just thought you'd like all of that inside info as well. All right, so I get to compost, I get to pick my own vegetables, what will grow in sand. I am not trying to grow broccoli because broccoli in sand makes broccolini look very, very robust indeed. Yep, so no heavy feeders in my garden. It's all light things, but the things that don't take very much nutrient to grow are your salad vegetables and your herbs and tomatoes, all the things that you actually want to have fresh, the things that go off very rapidly in your fridge. Now when I do have to go shopping, I take these. This is a washing bag. Yes? Isn't it? Yeah, yeah, it's a washing bag. And of course, you know, like, I like a washing bag anyway if we're doing washing, but one day I went, hang on, they weigh nothing. That weighs nothing. Why don't I take that to the greengrocers when I'm getting little itty bitty things that they want me to use plastic bags for? And, you know, save people who want you to put it in a plastic bag and stick a sticker on it from getting all irate at me as I try and put individual items onto their checkouts. With a queue of people behind me going, Greenie, this is taking time. So these are fantastic. I use them all the time. And the best thing is that they breathe. And so your greens don't go slimy in them. And the other thing you use is a tea towel. And you just make the tea towel damp. So, okay, let's give you a demo. Let's pretend we've bought this marjoram in a shop. And we stick it in here. Yeah. I've probably got a whole lot of other herbs in there with it. Yeah.
Can you mix herbs in one bag?
Absolutely. They don't interfere with each other's flavours. Okay. Yep. So then this would be damp.
That's so good.
Yeah. Roll it around. The damp tea towel stops your greens from dehydrating. This allows them to breathe. No more slimy bits. No more stinky slimy bits. Because those stinky slimy bits on your baby spinach, they are from anaerobic bacteria. And anaerobic bacteria is the stuff that gives you food poisoning. It is also the stuff that smells. Yeah? So if you don't put your veggies into a sealed, airtight environment, or even just a suffocating one like a plastic bag, it's not only a 3-year-old you have to watch out for with those things, it's also not so great with your greens, and appalling for mushrooms. I've seen people putting mushrooms, I just want to grab them and shake them when they do it, and it's just like, that's going to go off in just a couple of days. I hope you're going to eat them tomorrow. And then they're going to smell, and your dish isn't going to taste any good. I thought, hold it in, hold it in, hold it in, hold it in. People think you're a crank. Yeah, so this is a fantastic thing to do, to take with your shopping bags. And I'll show you, I have all these gorgeous shopping bags. Of course you can have these ones. These are all right. They're all right. Don't leave them in the back of the car though, because this stuff breaks down in sunlight. You might have noticed that when you put your fist through it, or you've stuck, you know, you've stuck a pumpkin in and gone, lop, da, da, da. So you can get all sorts of great shopping bags and baskets. But this is my favourite kind because this is made out of recycled materials. And it's got this sexy bit of hessian from a sack on the outside, and then inside, yes, plastic sacks from old rice bags. So so you can get really cool, I mean, how stylish is that? Looks hot, doesn't it? Yeah. Indestructible and well, you know, it's not totally indestructible, but it's such a great use of this old plastic sacking because that's not biodegradable. Yeah. So, but that's what's used for things like the lentils that I've got over here would have come in a sack like that. All right, my lentils, I buy in bulk. This is another way to save wastage. If you know you're crazy about an ingredient, I love it, then you can buy them in bulk because they stay fresh, unrefrigerated for so long. All you have to do is keep them in an airtight container and then the weevils don't get in, and so you're fine. So you can have a couple of buckets like this with things like lentils and brown rice that you buy in bulk, and they won't go off. Like this is a 20k, this will hold 10k's worth of lentils in it, and actually it'd hold almost 20k's of lentils, but I don't recommend that you put more than 10 kilograms or 15 kilograms in any one bucket because you don't want to give yourself an injury. It's better to have a few more buckets if you can, rather than trying to overdo it. And then if your friends want some, you can just weigh them up for them and sell them to them and get through them quicker. Remember, I'm a performing artist. What I don't know about saving money is not worth knowing.